RockEyez would like to welcome Quig, the Mylars. Hey, man, what's up?
Hey, how are you, Brian?
Really good, really good. Now, tell me a little bit about your first CD, Melody Records, or that's your debut CD, right?
Correct, yes.
Right.
Well, Melody Records start right off with the name of the album. Melody Records was actually Danny and I started the band. We both write and we both sing, and we both grew up in a town called Union, New Jersey.
Right.
And the store that we both bought our first records at was called Melody Records. It was like a mom and pop store in the center of town. So this was like our homage to those days of walking in and buying a vinyl or a
Right.
45 off the wall, and where you get your passion for music. You start to hunt for things that you want to hear and things you hear on the radio, and that's where I think it begins. I don't even know if that's gone now.
Right, yeah.
That's sort of the way to purchase music or be involved.
Right, right. I know
but
my favorite store was Vintage Vinyl, and that was in Irvington. Now it's up here in Fords, and the place is huge.
yeah, I think it's blown the walls out both sides.
Yeah.
I think now. Yeah, it's went from one store to two store to almost three store size. Yeah, it's one of the few
Right.
remaining. That's just amazing, and it's stock and the other thing I think it's great is the people that work there know music.
Right, yeah.
A lot of if you walk into a major store, a Target, a Walmart,
Right.
most of the time the record person is, they can offer you the best of somebody,
Right.
and they don't know too much about them, and that's about it.
Exactly, exactly. So your I guess the debut video was Forever Done?
Forever Done, yes, was the first one.
Right.
We just wanted everybody to see kind of what we looked like and the whole package to get it started.
Right, yeah. And then your newest video, Breathe Again?
Correct. That's the third one. And Let's Go, Cars cover was second. We covered the Cars song Let's Go, and that's a full production video. I don't know if you
Right.
got a chance to see it. A convertible and a cast and a crew and a whole 9 yards with that one.
Cool, cool. Now, I know you were in prior bands and stuff like that. How'd you hook up with the Mylars? I know you're part of the people who started, but how'd you get out all the members and stuff like that?
Well, Danny and I hadn't played in some time. He was out doing some other things, and so was I. And then we kind of reconnected, and it was kind of good that we had taken a break, just in general. I took a break from, just the music business in general for a couple of years. And when you come back, you're kind of rejuvenated. So
Right.
Danny and I sat down, and we wrote what would be Melody Records, the whole album. Got a lot of basic tracks and demos together, and then we started to hunt for people. And it just so happens, it was very lucky. The drummer happens to be a friend of Danny's, who I know kind of off the cuff. He played in one of Danny's bands years ago, and we had asked him if he would just come in and help us audition guitar players. So he said, sure, no problem. He came in. We played him the material. We brought in Dan Rainey, who was like one of the first guitar players we brought in. He was from New Jersey,
Right.
and he had just moved back from Nashville. He had been out in Nashville a couple years trying his hand out there. And when he came into the audition. He started to play, and then after it was over, we were like, this guy's great. We want to get this. And Chris, who happened to just be there, on the spot, just helping us out, he's like, well, who's playing drums in this project? And we're like, no one yet. And he's like, well, I want that spot.
Right.
So we happened to get two at one shot. And then Nick Polito, the keyboard player, he worked on Danny's crews for years. He actually helped him, do a lot of crew work. And
Right.
when we were looking, we already knew that Nick could play, and that he was, you want to look for guys that are a little put together,
Right, yeah.
responsible these days. It's not like the old days where you have time to flake out.
Right, yeah. Wow.
So Nick was always on time, so that helped him,
Wow. I know you seem like you guys play out a lot, and you got to play with Ace Frehley, Rick Springfield. I mean, two of the major influence on myself. and there's others too. So tell me about what it was like opening for like Ace and Rick Springfield.
Well, the first big one we got was Rick. It was Rick Springfield at the Wellmont, and it was very exciting. It's a large room, and I think it's 2,500 people, and it happened to be in New Jersey, not far from where we all grew up.
Right.
So it was kind of exciting. And Rick, a lot of people slag Rick, but Rick's a great writer, and I have a lot of his albums. I think Rick's songs are pretty solid. He still puts out good music. He still writes great songs. And so that was very exciting, just to be there and to do that, I have to say. And then he turned out to be a really nice guy. He was very accommodating to us, and it's not that he shouldn't be, but he didn't have to be, but he was. It was very nice. And unfortunately, like with Ace Frehley, I would love to say he was a sweetheart. Right. That's all I can say. But if you know Ace Frehley, which I know you do, he has his days. I could say his manager, John Astronomy, he's a great guy. He was very nice, and and everything went fine with the show. Right. And the sound check, the musical portion of it. It was just like, it's just later on it wasn't so, you kind of hope more for your heroes.
Yeah. And John definitely is a good guy. At least to me he is, and many others. But, I understand the Ace Frehley stuff, and, people go on,
I don't want to lie, It's like, I was like, I would love, I'm like, no, I'm not going to, It is what it is, Wow. But yeah, and we have like a show in October with the Vapors, turning Japanese. Yeah. And I know there's, we're waiting on some more. We'll probably be back with Rick in a couple of other places, and there's a bunch on the list. We played with him back Drama Rama. Right. John Easdale. Chris and Danny and I played in John Easdale's band, as well as the Mylars opened for him recently. He wanted to film. He wanted to film a documentary or like a retrospective. It's not out yet, but when it comes out, I'll let everybody know.
Cool. Now, how'd you get to hook up with Ace and Rick and other places? Your manager, or does the band try to work it out?
Actually, we've been managing ourselves a lot. We had enough knowledge from doing it in the past, and having some managers that did know what was going on. So you kind of learn from watching how they do things. And we got like with Rick had been doing an entire tour, which he still does dates with Pat Benatar. Right, yeah. And he decided, I don't know if Pat Benatar did something separately at one point, but when he booked the Wellmont, he booked it on his own, so he wasn't carrying any support, and we kind of noticed that. Right. Sent our stuff to the management, and his manager loved it. That was Forever Done. He loved Forever Done, and immediately put us on the show. He was more, and like I thank God the show went very well. So we'll be doing probably more with Rick actually in the fall, I think.
That's great, man. And Ace, would you contact John?
No, actually, that was the Bergen Pack. The booking agent from the Bergen Pack is actually a friend of. It was the guy that used to be the Bergen Pack booking agent is a friend of Danny, so he hooked him up with the new booking agent, and we were supposed to do Night Ranger there, but something happened within the logistics, and it fell through. So when Ace came up, we just called her, and she was more than happy to help us out. Right. Yeah. I think if anything, it's as long as you can go in, do exactly what they ask you to do, stay drama free. They'll always have you back. Cool. You don't want to get down to anybody's. They're doing their job, you're doing yours. Right.
Did you ever think about branching out of New Jersey?
Yes, actually, we've been poking at a couple of things. We want to. I think some of the fall days with Rick will be outside of New Jersey. Cool. But yes, we want to. The game plan for the Mylars, at least at this point, is to stay, probably within a 6-hour radius of New Jersey, right, and try to hit as many theaters as possible. we feel it's like the theater thing seems to be our niche.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
You know, it's unfortunately clubs aren't what they used to be,
Right,
and as well as it's the days of getting, you know, this band into a van and traveling up and down the East Coast to play for 50 people a night. That luxury is gone for us. You know, we've all passed that.
Right. Now, is there
we've done it?
Yeah.
You know, that's for sure.
Is there any particular club that you do like in Jersey?
I think the Starland is great. I don't know. We haven't been, you know, we haven't connected, but it's a great room to, you know, to see. Like, it's a perfect size because you can catch people on their way up. You can catch them kind of on their way down. You know, like it's a great room for that.
Right.
I think you and I was in the same. I think you and I were in the same room for Lillian Axe.
Probably. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and he's wonderful. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is. It's like, you know, and unfortunately that would probably be, I don't want to say, you know, it was probably the lower part of their career because they had a good career in the 80s, you know, but we caught them near the end.
Wow. So are you working on new material now?
Yeah, we've been recording because the studio is actually you can do that now. It's in, you know, Danny's basement.
Right.
So we started the second record, but we haven't put any kind of pressure on it.
Right.
The songs are there. There's still tons of material, and we're recording them one at a time at a pace that we can, you know, do at our leisure for now. There's no pressure on it because the first one we believe has a lot more, you know, legs to it. It's got a long way to go.
Right.
There's at least another single or two to come. There's definitely another video, you know, into the fall time.
Right. Wow.
You know, it's good. I mean, having the internet helps a lot these days. You can get it. Yeah. You can get your music and get your videos to a lot of eyes and a lot of ears that you couldn't in the past.
Right. Now, how much different, you know, from back in the day when you used to play to now, live shows, response from the audience and people showing up?
Well, that's another thing about, like, I would say definitely if you're playing in the nightclubs, it's probably easier when you're a younger age, when a lot of your friends are 22, 23, 24, and either don't have jobs yet or they can get up with 3 hours sleep and make it. Those again, those days are gone. Yeah. You know, theaters again. You know, we open for, you know, Rick or Ace or whatever. We're on at 8 and we're gone before 9. You know.
Yeah. Just imagine how they feel. You know, them guys ain't young either. You know.
Oh, I mean, Rick. Again, he's 68 years old, and when you watch him from the back of the room, you would think it was 80s Rick. I mean, he's skinny, he's jumping around, he's singing, he's playing, it's amazing. It really is. It's amazing to see him go. It's inspirational to me. You know, like, you know, it's one of those, if you can do it, I got to be able to do it. There's no excuses. You know, he's handling it, man. And now his new album, I know he's talking about, you know, how he fights, you know, depression and stuff. So he even has that challenge, and he's still doing it. So I have no excuse to be lazy or, you know.
Wow. Is there anything you want to talk about that I missed?
No, just check out the new video, Breathe Again. That's the newest, you know, representation of what we're doing. That's the new single. It's been getting a lot of good response. The views, I think we capped over 6,000 views in like the first week, which at least to us shows that we're starting to catch. You know, things are starting, you know, each video, like I think the first video was like 2,000, and then it slowly creeps up. So that's good, and I want everybody to check it out and just look for, you know, check the band's website. You know, we have it's the Mylars.com, the Mylars Twitter, the Mylars Instagram, you know, everything, Facebook. It's all under the Mylars. We make it as easy as possible for people to find us.
Cool.
And, you know, we want people to see us live. We're trying to do what, again, I don't want it almost sounds like a Kiss thing because I know we're all Kiss fans, but it's like we want to be the band that people would like to see.
Right, yeah.
You know, we wear jackets and lapel buttons and some stuff like almost in an 80s way.
Right.
Which is kind of, we just don't want to just dress like, in flannel shirts or anything.
Right.
I mean, it's fine if somebody wants to do that, but this is just not us.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks a lot, Quig. I really appreciate the chat. Would you like to say anything to the fans in conclusion?
Just, we'll see you out there. Please come up. Don't ever be afraid to come up and talk to us. Ask us questions. Send us emails. We love interaction with everyone because we want to make it work.
Cool. Thanks a lot, man.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.